Okay.
Oh, Android. Hello. What is this without the Android? It's too much, right? I don't care. Oh. Google, pay us. Okay, hi, this is the Android PR gal and Carmen Villadar for whatsupandroid.com, and we are here with Tom Higgins, Product Evangelist for Unity 3D. We're here at actually the DroidCon. We both arrived, not together. Tom flew in from Mexico and I was from Frankfurt, but we actually attended the Droid camp, which was awesome. So now we're here with Tom Higgins and we're going to get close up and personal with him and ask him all these cool questions. And the cool thing is we also have Mario Hachemer, who's in Frankfurt, who's also developed, I believe, a really cool game on Unity's 3D engine, and we're going to bring him in through Skype and we're going to have him ask Mario Tom some questions. So let's go ask Tom. He's over here. Okay, hi Tom.
Hey, how are you doing?
Fine. So this is your what, first time in Berlin?
This is my first time stopping anywhere in Germany other than dipping through the Frankfurt airport on my way to Copenhagen or somewhere else. So definitely first time in Berlin as well.
Oh my God, so where were you before, Mexico?
I was in Mexico for GammaCon, which was comics, animation, and a bit of game development conference.
Is that the first time?
It's actually gone on for a few years, but it's the first time there's been any tech emphasis there, as the Mexican government's trying to spin up interest in game development in Mexicali, Tijuana, and Guadalajara in particular. Available talent pool, educated student body there, and so they're trying to bring the game industry from the U.S. Down south of the border to encourage business.
Wow, and you just came from Google I/O too.
Yeah, just before that was Google I/O last week in San Francisco, which was incredible. It was cool just to be there, get the swag that they were giving out and all, but also because not only were we demoing for the first time publicly our Android support there, but we were also part of the keynote, as we're going to be included as part of the native client player in Chrome, which is cool that somebody like Google has that kind of interest in our technology, plus the potential that it's going to give to our developers that are using Unity as well. So
see, that's the exciting thing on Chrome. After this Berlin DroidCon, where you go in Boston?
Well, I go home for about a week and a half, which would be the nice longest gap I've had for a couple of months now. And then I'm off to Boston on June 12th for a Boston user group meeting. They're kicking off a user group and have about 150, 200 people coming out. So we're doing kind of a welcome event in the morning, and then I'm doing kind of a class in the afternoon teaching people about how to use Unity.
Okay, well, it seems like you're really doing the Product Evangelist roadmap trek journey. Here's a question for you. You've pretty much trekked the globe and had an overview of what gaming is like in different pockets of the globe.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any one area other than the U.S. that's just starting to sprout out? Like relatively was, and now it's like, oh.
Well, immediately that comes to mind as I think of Central and South America in particular. Colombia, Argentina, and Brazil are three places in particular where we've got key developers that are kind of seem to have risen out of nowhere to some significant prominence. I mean, a big one being Three Melons. They have been based out of Argentina and New York. And they've created some titles like the Lego Star Wars game, which we've been featuring, that was part of the keynote at Google I/O and the native client. And I don't think a lot of people think of South America as this like hub of games development. As I said, there and in Brazil and a few other places, there are some top quality coming up there that are using Unity, that have used other technologies as well. So that to me is a pretty exciting new environment. Of course, there's the long-standing, North America and Europe have a lot of history, Korea and Japan, but really South and Central America to me are the most exciting potential new areas.
Is that because geographically they're so all the way down there and there's a language barrier and a digital divide per se?
I think it's more of a mental and a perception barrier. I don't know, like in the U.S. there seems to be this notion that once you get to our southern border, once you go south of that, there's just no potential. I mentioned GammaCon and all of the new schools that are teaching there, that I just don't think people look south of the border, and I don't mean just Mexico, I mean completely south, as an area of development. So I don't think it's a physical separation issue, because it's not like it's any further here than it is to go there for us, nor a language issue. I mean, Spanish and Portuguese are not unheard of languages in the world. I just think it's really more of a mental divide than anything else. And so hopefully that will slowly come down, and folks will start realizing that the talent and creativity is there.
Wow, okay, so with your Unity 3D engine and the environment, so this can really be the pull that will help empower these hidden people, hidden talents and niches to actually come forth.
Well, yeah, our whole goal is to empower creative individuals to, as we say, quote, democratize game development. And what we mean by that is to put professional grade tools in everybody's hands. We were chatting before about Electronic Arts using it, and we could go back to that. But the idea is that the average person at home can start with our free version, $0, €0 spent, and they get 80 to 90% of the functionality that professional shops get by spending lots of money.
Wow.
And so anybody, anywhere with a computer that can download our product can start using it and create game content and tap into that kind of functionality. And way back when, I started in the software industry by coming to Macromedia and getting a job. And I have a physics degree, and I took 2 semesters of computer science, and at the end of 2 semesters, I couldn't do anything that I felt was neat. I took them to crunch numbers, so I didn't spend hours in my lab doing lab work, data processing. And then my first day on Director, I remember feeling like I can do more today than I ever thought I'd be able to do. And that was particularly exciting. And today we want to do that with Unity, so that somebody sitting at home who's got this idea for a game thinks, I can never do that. That's only the stuff of professionals. Well, no, they can download Unity and do it. And that's the kind of feeling we want to give to people anywhere, anytime. So yeah, we think it can unlock potential in people anywhere, let alone these new markets that the game industry hasn't yet thought of, because we've now given them a way to have their own voice, their own power and potential.
Okay, so what do you feel, in your opinion, would be the level of game development skill that somebody would need to do in order to bring out a half-decent game? Like, what's the learning curve?
We have people that have come to Unity with no game development skills. A few examples are, there is Daniel, and I believe he's about 16 years old. He's from Sacramento, California, and he has something in the order of about 20 games on the App Store already today. And he came to Unity, and I remember his dad driving him down to San Francisco and offering to take me out to lunch so they could ask me a few questions, and it was help with how I write a function and a for loop and things like that. A year and a half later, the kid's writing shaders that I don't understand. He's got 20 games up on the App Store, and he has grown into a professional developer before he's finished high school. Another example is Mika Mobile. This guy made Zombieville USA, and it was one guy wrote his first game in 5 weeks and put it up on the App Store and sold something like 1 million units. So what's the learning curve? Look, understanding 3D concepts is fundamentally difficult. You have to be able to wrap your head around 3D. But the tool itself is extremely easy to learn, and it's our design goal to have it be intuitive, obvious, and easy to use, so that beginners and professionals alike can step into it and be productive right away. So we try to keep that learning curve very shallow, let you focus on the game you want to make. We do that through the user interface. We do that through C# and JavaScript instead of a proprietary language by avoiding C++. So shallow learning curve with lots of power and potential that have already proven successful in letting people be the game developers they want.
Wow, amazing. You don't see this, but my eyes welled up with a little bit of tears, and I'm not sappy. It's because when he mentioned Daniel, and Daniel's like a young guy, and the dad contacted Tom and, hey, let's take you out because my son has a question, and he was out there. That's what it's all about, folks. It's connecting with people on their level and reaching out. And speaking of connecting with people, we have Mario Hachemer, a student from Frankfurt that we said we're going to bring in through Skype. So let's see if we can bring him in now. I know he's standing by, and let's just give him a call. Literally, I had tears well up. So when the father contacted you, you were like, yeah, sure, where?
Sure, went out and had a hour and a half, 2 hour lunch with him to answer all his questions. I've done it 2 or 3 times.
Wow.